So one of the most flexible and most capable blocks that we are going to use here again requires the Getwid plugin to be activated. So browsing the plugins folder here, make sure Getwid is activated. Perfect. So let's add a page for this occasion because I'm going to add a couple of those blocks that I am referring to. Open up the document overview always. So for this occasion, I'm also again going to change the template to page no title. Perfect. And I am showing the template. It is already shown. Perfect. One of the most flexible blocks that we are going to use here is the block called section. The section allows us to go full width, right? Perfect. It allows us to go set a section height, and there again I suggest you use something like 80 viewport height, making it very high, making it very visible and obvious. And the first thing I'm going to do is create or add a header, a heading. Welcome to Leuven. Perfect. And I'm going to align the text in the middle. And by default, text is aligned in the middle, or blocks are aligned in the middle better, and also horizontally aligned. Now, what is so special about that section block? Well, first of all, you can obviously set a background color, right? But let's be honest, been there, done that, right? We can do that with a cover block as well, or a group, or even a paragraph. However, you can also go set a image. But there again, well, the default cover block allows us to do that as well. From here on, though, from the gradients, things start to get a little bit more interesting, because you see that you can actually add one of these reset gradients, and even though they are a little bit, if you actually choose a more subtle one, gradients a very nice way to bring some relief in a design. This is a bit overdone, right? However, for a smaller block, let's perhaps take 50 here, or even less. For a smaller block, a gradient can work, right? And you are supposed to add one. Make sure also to add a button, for instance, right? Make sure to add a button. Contact us, for instance, right? And point it to your contact page over here. Make this a call to action, right? And a gradient does the trick. You don't need anything else to create a very nice call to action. Next, so I'm going to clear this thing. Next, and here it becomes even more interesting, you can go add a so-called slider again. So we've seen sliders before. If I then select my 3 images here, I can go insert the gallery. And from now on, this behaves as a background slider. However, we do face kind of a problem here. So first of all, perhaps let me change this over to white text. And perhaps we need to make it a little bigger also. And I'm gonna put it in bold as well. In order to guarantee that these text stays visible, I would need to go set a so-called overlay or transparency. By default, you can go, well, we need a color, obviously. By default, when you have white text, and let me perhaps put it back to, let me put this back to a little higher. So because now, under the General tab, It's only 30 viewport height. Let me just double that to 60. And when going back to the slider options here, overlay, you can not only use a white or black slider, you can also use a colored slider, obviously. But be careful with those, because they somehow recolor your images, obviously, so be careful with that. Perfect. So this way my text is still very visible. The slider here is very, very nice. Okay, you can even add a gradient slider as well, right? Perfect. However, let me just again clear all this, get rid of the slider, get rid of the, okay, get rid of that. Okay, now it's black, obviously, so let me perhaps re-add the slider or the gradient. Finally, you can also go choose a video to serve as a background. And what I usually do here, I go to YouTube and I search for a background video for website. So it often takes a while before you find something useful. Let me perhaps specify nature. I usually like those better. So let's go use, no, this is a sponsored link, so be careful. Let me pick this one, very nice little, right, just shut up. Perfect. In order for me to go use this video as a background, I'm going to copy over the link here, right? And in my Getwid slider, I simply select YouTube, and when I then paste the link, it will actually start showing. Be aware though that we still have that overlay capacity. There's a couple of things though you need to do. We have to mute the video. You really don't want to make it any sound. And we have to autoplay it as well, because otherwise it's not going to do much. Perhaps let's go clear here that, and let's add a simple overlay to the video. And when I now publish this page and I preview it, I expect actually the video to load as a background video, as you see here. So it's only a 9-second video though, so be careful. You may need to go find a longer video, or in this case, what we're gonna need to do here, we're gonna have to make sure that the video loops so that it doesn't stop after one play, obviously. Let's go do that. Let's go repeat the video, right? Because otherwise, after 9 seconds, it's over. Let's have a look now. So, I assume that the actual author, well, there's still that second of black screen. That's not okay. Okay, that's annoying. So you really need a video that at least runs for half a minute or so, because this is too short. Perfect. So section, very good block, very nice block, very capable, because I didn't even show half of what it can do. One other thing it can do is that it has so-called animation on scroll effect. So when I enable under advanced the entrance animation, that's how they call that, I can not only use a background video, but it actually also fades into my page. So, and it has literally dozens of effects that you can actually use, but there again, don't overdo it. Wow, no. So be careful there. I usually do not use it, basically, except for very small things, but we need another plugin for that. So that's it. The Getwid plugin is really making a difference here.